Strictly No Elephants by Lisa Mantchev. An oral presentation assessing the cultural significance by Brynne Reid. Strictly No Elephants by Lisa Mantchev actively dismantles Nodelman's assumption that children only enjoy reading when it is relatable and easily understood. It does this by presenting a far-out scenario in which some children are made to feel ostracized by the pets that they own, but eventually create their own club after being turned away from the pre-existing club that was excluding them. This book presents themes of bullying, exclusion, acceptance, and kindness. It does this through strong visual elements as well as a couple literary elements that we'll be discussing shortly. Breaking the cultural assumption. I will be discussing the symbolism, character, and the visuals within this story. The first literary element is symbolism, which is a pretty obvious one in a story in which a young boy has a tiny elephant. Now, of course, this isn't real, but it does symbolize the individual differences that we all have within ourselves, and it gives us a reason to love the uniqueness that we all have. All of these animals symbolize that in their own way, and most of the children were showing up to the Pets Club with cats and dogs, and this left our protagonist feeling quite ostracized and left out, especially when they put up a sign that said "No elephants allowed." The literary element of character really pushes the themes of exclusion, but then that is further overshadowed by the theme of acceptance and celebrating our differences when our protagonist finally creates his own club with his tiny elephant and invites all of the other unique animals to join as well. The use of visuals throughout this story really follows the ups and downs of the plot and further pushes us along with our main character there. Secondly, it really keeps us engaged and helps us really feel what our protagonist is feeling. Now, following up on our visuals, we can really dissect the cover where we don't see their faces, we only see their backs turned, and we sort of get the idea that they are disappointed when they see Strictly No Elephants, with the boy with his hand on his little elephant's head, sort of consoling him, and it's just them off-centered a little bit, but the boy is in the center, which really lets us know that this is about his feelings and how he feels. And then this other page that I pulled from the book is after they see this sign on the pet club's door that says Strictly No Elephants, and it really gives us a good insight into how they're feeling, and I really would love to point out how everybody else seems to have an umbrella, and these two sort of stick out like a sore thumb. This rain is really meant for them, and it's meant to give us the feeling that they're feeling. Books like Strictly No Elephants that talk about exclusion from a young age are vital in addressing how to properly celebrate our differences, even and maybe especially when the reader or audience member cannot directly relate to the protagonist. Nodelman's assumption can be very harmful when it is obvious that children are able to learn and actually can have quite a bit of growth from stories that aren't direct mirrors of their experiences. Of course, most young readers cannot relate to having a tiny elephant or a skunk or a narwhal like we saw, but they can relate to probably feeling excluded and experiencing some sort of isolation in one way or another. Stories like these are vital for readers of all ages in learning how to deal with exclusion and isolation and how to make the best of it